Okay. One Piece chapter 1023. Now we're getting to the good stuff. That boy Luffy is coming back to the battlefield, and we get the revelation, or rather the hint, that Momo, as a 28-year-old man, looks a lot like Oden, just based off of Shinobu's tears. But when this man was in his dragon form and the way Luffy was walking up to him, that looks so beautiful right there. That was good. That was a very good page spread right there. But I like how Luffy just walked up and he's like, hey, Momo, is that you? He's like, hey, okay, we're about to go kick some ass. But on the side note, though, backing up, I have to say, I did like how the chapter started off and you got Zoro and you got Sanji. They're staring down King and Queen, and King and Queen are laying on their backs looking up. And as the fight's getting ready to start, Zoro's about to be sniped off. And then that's when Kawamatsu shows up, ends up saving Zoro from being shot. And as the battle begins to rage on, as the battle begins to start off, we get this moment where King and Queen, as they're standing up, Sanji tells Zoro he doesn't know what's going on with his body, but ever since he put on the raid suit, his body hasn't felt the same. So I'm kind of wondering if that raid suit doesn't integrate with Sanji's DNA to a certain extent. It's one of those things where I think Sanji's in the process of getting a power up, and I like how when King tries to cut Sanji, Zoro shows up, Zoro saves him, and then that's when Sanji shows up and he's able to repay the favor for Zoro, and he's able to kick away Queen's attack. And that's when Queen starts asking questions like, hey, you know, Germa 66, you guys all judge as children, so this man turned all you guys into cyborgs, so that means your leg is part mechanical then. And Sanji says, no, the reason why my leg catches on fire, it isn't because I'm any type of cyborg, it's because of the heat of my passion surpasses the temperature of an actual flame. And Sanji says, like, I'm good at cooking and I'm about to cook your ass up. And I like how Sanji just starts going to town on Queen, and he says, I'm going to show you the power that even Vegapunk wasn't going to be able to recreate. And I'm paraphrasing what Sanji says, but Sanji's basically saying he's about to kick some ass right now. And I like how Sanji's going to town. We have this moment where Zoro is coming in on Queen, and when Zoro gets punched in the face, and when Zoro almost gets punched in the face, he's able to deflect it using the blade that's in his mouth. And Zoro is looking up at King, and he's like, okay, wait a second. You want to talk like that? I'm about to whoop your ass. And if I got to tear your throat out with my teeth, I will do so. That is one of the most raw lines from Zoro. And then that's when we get the revelation, like Zoro actually has a connection to Wano, because Kawamatsu is talking and he's like, hey, the reason why I didn't stop Hiyori from giving Zoro the sword is, let's just keep it real for a second, he looks like that guy. And then that's when we get the revelation that Zoro looks like Ushimaru, who is the daimyo of the Ringo region, and we end up finding out that Zoro even fights very similar to him. And what I like right here is that we also find out that Ushimaru was a descendant of Ryuma, the god of the blade. And so now we're starting to see why Oda is like kind of connecting back to what we had in Thriller Bark, and you had the whole situation where Zoro got that blade and he brought the blade back here to Wano. It's one of those very beautiful things where we're probably going to learn more about Zoro's origin after we wrap up all these fights. I'm very curious to see how that's actually done, but I'm so hyped because Zoro, outside of, I believe it was chapter 4, where we got the revelation of like what happened with Quina and etc., I cannot wait to get this moment where we can learn more about Zoro's backstory, because he just kind of showed up there. So there is more to the character, and I like how Oda's kind of setting the stage to give us more of that information. Now, moving forward a little bit further, I like how we get the moment where Cat Viper is basically talking and saying like, hey, we got this opportunity now to make things right, and we're going to make all these people essentially pay for everything that's happened, and we're going to make them pay for Pedro dying. And you have the minks, they're looking up at we have the minks, and the minks realize that this is a full moon, so they got the opportunity to go into the Sulong transformation. And then Oda then transitions over to where you have the battle on the second floor, and it's essentially Raizo continuing his fight. And Raizo basically says, don't you talk down about you. We're backing Momo, and we're doing what we can in order to make him the Shogun. And we're not going to allow you to steal his destiny. And as that battle is raging on, I like how Oda just transitions over to exactly where Momo is, and he's bowing his head to Luffy, and he's going to allow Luffy to ride on him, and Luffy's looking up at Momo. We get the flashback where Momo and Luffy first met, and it's one of those things where we're seeing as Momo and Luffy are helping each other accomplish their destiny. And when Luffy finds out that Shinobu was able to age Momo up to age 28, that kind of confirms what I was saying in the last chapter, where they're 20 years in the future, so it kind of makes sense that they were able to age up Momo 20 years biologically, but mentally he's still in that younger state. But now we're going to get the opportunity to really see a scene unfold to where people are probably going to watch Luffy and Momo fight against Kaidou, and Momo, now that his body's matured, and as a result of his body maturing, so has that transformation that he has when he transforms back into his regular appearance. And we see that he's a spitting image of Odin. That's going to do three things for us. So the first thing that it's going to do is we now have Momo at the appropriate age where he could be the Shogun and rule over Wano. And because he's got a child mentality, he's going to have smart people around him. But that makes sense. The other thing, too, is that it now frees Yamato of being in the situation where she feels the need that she needs to be Odin, because Odin's son is there and Momo's going to look just like Odin, so we don't need bootleg Odin in the form of Yamato. Granted, I understand it's about carrying on Odin's spirit. I understand what Oda's doing there, but this is a good way to circumvent that. And then the third thing this is going to do is it's going to give us the opportunity to put Yamato onto the crew. So I like this, man. I like this. Oda did a good job with just this one double-page spread, setting up so much more for the future. However, I want to know from you guys, what are you guys' thoughts about this? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.